Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I am finally back on YouTube. So a lot has been going on this summer. My family had come down and they were here for about 2 months and we had a blast. We spent time together. We ate a lot of good food. We traveled around and it was just amazing. The most amazing time we had. And I feel like has so much happened in the makeup world during these 2 months. And I have so much piled up. So yeah, I have to get to it when I get to it. But I think we have to talk about the most important release or the most talked about release that happened this year, and that was my favorite Pat McGrath foundation release. And so she released amazingly packaged foundation, and it's called the Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection foundation. And today we're going to talk a lot more about it. So first of all, the packaging of this foundation is amazing. It comes this way and the bottle is just lovely. It has this gold stuff, and it's really classy and feels nice to hold. It just looks nice in my makeup drawers. So I absolutely love the packaging. And it's Pat McGrath, so it is expensive. It is $68. Well, I got a 10% discount, so it didn't hurt that much, but still I think it's very, very expensive. But oh well. We'll just ignore that for now. So let's see what the mother has to say about this. So this is a buildable perfecting coverage, weightless texture, sublime satin finish, runway tested and mother approved. It's a universal formula for all skin types, oil-free, paraben-free, fragrance-free, and something that I don't know, a lot of people pay attention to is that it does have some sort of alcohol mentioned in the ingredients. Now, I personally don't have a problem with the alcohol as long as it doesn't dry my skin. But I think for people who have skin allergies or eczema or something, sometimes alcohol does tend to irritate their skin. So something to keep in mind. But I have tried this foundation and I didn't seem to notice any drying on my skin with this foundation. Now I have applied a hydrating moisturizer and a primer whenever I've applied this foundation, and I never had a problem. But if you are sensitive to some of these ingredients like alcohol, then you might want to stay away from it. So yeah, I mean, if you're spending $68 on a foundation, it better do its job and not, ruin your skin. If anything, it should just, I don't know, grow flowers on your skin or something automatically because it's that expensive. But yeah, something to keep in mind. Okay, so now we're going to test it on our skin. Like I said, I have tested it before on my face and well, I have liked it. That's why I'm talking about it. Otherwise, I would have returned it. So first of all, I'm going to just apply my primer, and this primer is almost done and it's getting dry. So I need to use it from the wand, and this is my Hourglass primer. I'll just quickly. Okay, now that the skin is ready, and I have applied my moisturizer before I started filming. So I do have moisturizer, I have my primer, and now I'm going to just try the foundation. So this is a very runny foundation, and let me show it to you. So if you see, it just keeps falling like that. And just to compare it with, I have this Dior Backstage foundation, and this is light, but see how it stays, but this one just runs around. So it is sheer, like sheer to medium coverage. If you're looking for something full coverage, this is not going to do that. But I somehow prefer that. Like I want my skin to just look a little nicer than what it is. That's all I'm looking for most of the time, at least for my everyday needs. I'm not looking for a big covered face. I just feel like I reserve it for special occasions. And so I feel like this foundation kind of meets my requirements, and that's why I decided to keep it. And so yeah, I'm just going to use my foundation brush and just apply it. and see how it goes. And this is in the shade number 13. So that's one side. And what I want to do is, because this is quite runny, I want to try applying this on the other side with my fingers. So I'm just going to apply, put one or two pumps on my hand and just use my finger. And yeah, I have so many pimples right now on my face that this is actually the most perfect time to try out a foundation and see how much it covers. So yeah, it just feels like a moisturizer, honestly. I'm just gonna spread it around. Take my brush and just make it a little uniform, just in case my nails created any streaks. So if you can see, I do see my freckles still showing up. That pimple is still noticeable, but not as much. But yeah, and what else? There were so many scars. At least some of them have disappeared. And I do see this area still has a little bit of redness showing. So it's the first layer just adds this light layer of foundation, and quite frankly, I don't mind that. Like, I don't want too much coverage on my face, but in case you want to see how it looks, like a second layer, how it looks, I'm just going to apply that now on my face. I'm just going to take one more pump and not apply in the entire face, but just here. Wherever I see a little bit of redness, just there. And that's what the second layer looks like. So this shade is a little warm on my face, but not so much. So I prefer this shade. And I think it seems to cover most of it, but even the second layer doesn't really, cover the entire face, like full coverage. It's just medium coverage. You can see my moles, you can see the pimple, but it just makes the skin very uniform, and it's just skin-like. And one more thing is that it feels a little tacky on the face, very sticky. So you obviously want to set it. If you don't set it, I don't think I would be able to carry this foundation without using a setting powder on my face. So I definitely have to do that. And now I'm going to just do that. So before I use my setting powder, I just want to use a little bit of concealer just on my weird darker spots and just here. And this is my NARS concealer, and I'm almost out of it, and that actually just makes me really happy when I finish a product. It's so satisfying. So yeah, I'm just gonna rub it and lighten it a little bit. I feel like applying the concealer under the eye, it just brings the whole look together, like just brightens the under eye, and whatever flaws the foundation may have, I think the concealer just takes care of it. So, and that's taken care of. I'm just gonna take my Hourglass powder, and with a big brush, just set it. Just take a little bit more under the eye. And yeah, it feels much better now. It feels dry, although I feel like even after the powder, it does feel a little bit tacky, which I don't think this is a bad thing necessarily, because when I apply my bronzer and my blush, I think it'll stick to the face a lot better. So I don't think that's a bad thing, but in case you just roam around like this, you might feel that you have a little bit of stickiness on the face. But the coverage is really great. It just gives me it's like my skin but better, just lighter, feels good. So I totally love it. So just a closer look of my face. Again, it's not full coverage. So if you don't want to spend $68 on a foundation that is not super buildable, like making it a full coverage foundation, I totally get it. But if you're someone who likes you know, a sheer my skin but better sort of a glowy look, then I think this foundation is a good foundation. So now let me just finish up my face and I'll be back. All right, so I zhuzhed up my face a little bit to match my extra floral and colorful outfit. So I have my Pat McGrath lipstick and my Pat McGrath eyeshadow. It just felt right because I'm reviewing a Pat McGrath foundation. Anyway, so my final thoughts. This foundation is nice. There's nothing wrong with the foundation except the price. Should you have it? Why not? Is it a must-have? No, not for $68. It's not. I personally like it because I am into sheer foundations. In fact, my proof is, if I don't know if you guys know, but this is a very old Marc Jacobs foundation. It used to give me sheer, slightly medium coverage, and I've held on to it because it's discontinued, but I really used to like it. And then the Dior Backstage is also kind of sheer medium, not too sheer. And then there's the NARS Tinted Moisturizer foundation, which is also quite sheer to medium, and I actually love those as well. So if a foundation is light, I gravitate towards those kind of foundations. So, and plus I love Pat McGrath, so I did want to get this and also like it. But I mean, there are so many other foundations out there. You have the Lancome, the Dior, the Bare Minerals. I feel like they are great foundations too, and much cheaper. Of course, not the Dior one, but even the Dior spray, air spray, is I think much cheaper than this one, probably 60 or something. So yeah, this is I think the most expensive, if not the most, maybe kind of one of those luxury items. So I don't know if you must have it, but if you like sheer foundations and you like light skin and you're in a mood to splurge, I definitely recommend this foundation. It's very nice, but if you have better foundations, you can skip it. So that's my final thought on this. So another question I could ask myself is, what if it was $40? Would I still recommend it? Absolutely. $40 is, I think, a good enough price point for this. Not 68. 68 is a lot. Like, I have to sell my kidney to get this foundation, and that's just not right. Another thing I want to add is that I had got a sample of this foundation, and I remember I had applied it when we had gone to Rainier National Park. And we didn't really hike too much, and I don't remember perspiring too much or wiping off my face, but we did walk a lot. And at the end of the day, while we were driving back and we were having dinner, I asked my sister-in-law how the foundation looked, and she said it looked just the way it did in the morning, maybe a little worn off, but not too much, and it just looked fine. So I don't know if it was the primer or the foundation or a combination of both, but it definitely does wear very nicely on my skin. All right, so that's all about the Pat McGrath foundation. I am back on my YouTube channel finally, and I hope to post more videos. If you haven't subscribed, do subscribe to my channels, and if you like this video, do like it. And I hope to hear from you guys. Let me know what you thought about this video, any questions you may have, and until the next time we meet, bye.